Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here.
I think we can do better.
In a year unlike any other, where I really had to dig deep to try and make sure that I had an opportunity to review some brand new film releases for you, it is really nice for the powers that be to just throw me a bone every now and again, and with that, I am able to actually review for you guys not just one of the most anticipated films of 2020, but one of my personal top 10 most anticipated films of 2020. And unfortunately, it is not Disney Pixar's Soul, because obviously you would have seen that in the December episode of Out of the Vault, but because of the fact that I am not a Disney Plus subscriber, with still very few intentions to be, I will not be reviewing that movie until 2021. So all of you out there who are enjoying Soul on Disney Plus, it sounds fantastic. I knew it would be, and I am looking forward to giving you guys a review as well. But today we're going to be talking about the newest addition to the DCEU. Patty Jenkins directed Wonder Woman 1984, which of course sees the return of Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, and two new additions to the cast, Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord, and Kristen Wiig as Cheetah. So I was very excited for this movie to come out in theaters, of course, before the pandemic hit. I am also really glad to know that Warner Brothers decided to do what it did this year, which was still make sure that Wonder Woman was given to the movie-going public. If they had an opportunity to see it on the big screen, they could go and see it, but if you couldn't, like myself, you had the ability to watch it on HBO Max, which I am glad to know that I have a subscription for. So, knowing that I was going to be able to see this movie, which I was so excited to see, made me so very happy. And I am also very glad that I took a little bit of time to let my thoughts on this movie really sink in, like a good friend of mine over here in the YouTube community, Zack Pope, because this movie turned out to be better than I thought it would be. However, it is not as good as the original. The first Wonder Woman film was a true phenomenon. It was truly something special, and maybe that's just because of the fact that it was the very first time we ever saw Wonder Woman on the big screen. So there was a very hopeful aura of excitement around this film, and when it comes to getting a second film in a brand new successful franchise, it is very hard for the sequel to surpass the original. And unfortunately, Wonder Woman 1984 does not. However, there is a great deal of good stuff in this movie. First of all, I thought that getting the opportunity to see the continuation of Wonder Woman's story, especially before the era of the Justice League, seeing her doing her thing in the 1980s, which was definitely a very interesting time for superheroes in general. And I think that the film really captures that superhero atmosphere, because it was a time when the superhero world in the big companies like DC and Marvel Comics were very much in flux. They were really breaking out of the campy years and moving into a more darker and serious time, thanks to people like Frank Miller and Alan Moore in the mid-1980s. So we sort of saw that transition in this film, because yes, there's a lot of stuff in this movie that is extremely over the top, whether it's the dialogue or some of the things that you actually see, especially in the beginning of the movie when Wonder Woman is foiling the robbery at the mall. You definitely see the bright colors, the funky fashion, and even some of Wonder Woman's expressions are very much over the top, but I think that it really works. Then the movie starts to take a much more serious tone, and you actually see how well it plays into the Wonder Woman story, especially when it comes to her evolving as a superhero. There are a great deal of cool things that happen in this film, but because of the fact that it is still relatively new, I don't want to give anything away. But all I will say is, if you are a Wonder Woman fan, now I have to admit, I am not one of the most die-hard Wonder Woman fans out there. I honestly do not have many of Wonder Woman's comic books. But all the books that I do read and all the television shows that involve DC superheroes and films that star DC superheroes that actually have Wonder Woman in them, I always enjoy a great deal. So I know a lot about Wonder Woman's lore, but there is still a great deal of Wonder Woman's lore that I do not know. So I am definitely still growing as a Wonder Woman fan, but some of the things that I did see in this movie I already knew about, and I was very excited to actually see them happen in the film. It was just a nice nod to DC comic book fans and Wonder Woman fans as well. Not to mention the amazing mid-credit scene, which I am definitely going to tell you all, just be prepared for something truly awesome if you are a Wonder Woman fan. But also, the cast in this film, I think, is fantastic. All of the acting is wonderful. To see the newcomers like Pedro Pascal, who of course is one of the big names that you're hearing about a lot lately, especially because of the fact that he stars in The Mandalorian. But Kristen Wiig, you know, there's some people out there that didn't know why she was being cast in a superhero movie, but I know that Kristen Wiig is a very good actress. Yes, she's very funny, and you definitely see some of her comedic charm in this film, but I really appreciated her acting as Cheetah. I really did like it. I wish that we would have gotten more of Cheetah in her supervillain form, but I really did like her story. Also, the special effects in this movie are truly fantastic. Even though there are some very outlandish comic book style events that take place in the movie, Wonder Woman's effects definitely are good. They're very fluid and don't look like they were just pieced together overnight. There is also a wonderful score from Hans Zimmer. I actually am surprised that Hans Zimmer came back to score a DC film, especially considering the fact that he had made an announcement that he wasn't going to do any more of them, and he didn't even score the first Wonder Woman film. That was Rupert Gregson-Williams, but Hans Zimmer came back and really gave me an amazing score. I loved how he took the original Wonder Woman theme that we heard all the way back with Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. It is crazy to believe that in 2021 that movie will be 5 years old, but the fact that he took that theme and actually change the scales a little bit to make it feel more uplifting and more positive, because that really is what Wonder Woman 1984 was, even though it does have some very dark tones. I also really appreciated the story that involves Maxwell Lord and Cheetah, because one of the few things that I truly took away from this movie was, even though we've had a lot of these DCEU films, there hasn't been a film that really taps into the classic comic book supervillainy that involves things out of the supernatural and the paranormal. We didn't really get that much. I mean, I know we did get a little bit of stuff that involved the DC Cosmic Universe, which involved the Fourth World from Jack Kirby when it came to Lex Luthor communicating with Steppenwolf, but this story that involves Max Lord is true comic book supervillainy. It involves ancient magics of the gods, and him truly showing his obsession of power and world domination. We never truly got something like that in a DCEU movie, and I gotta say that even though it is not one of the strongest elements of the film, as a matter of fact there are some times where it could be a little bit confusing, it was just something that I think we really needed in the DCEU, because I love those things. Even though they can be a little bit out there, it just shows me that this is really trying to harp on the greatness that is the comic book story, and I welcomed it with open arms. Gal Gadot, I love the fact that she was chosen to play Wonder Woman, because she really embodies the live-action Wonder Woman that we have been aching for so many years on the big screen, and she just came right back into this role. She did such a wonderful job, and Chris Pine, I really appreciated his performance too. The two of them worked together absolutely beautifully. If there's anything negative that I want to say about this movie, it's just the fact that it's not the greatest film in the world. The plot can be a little bit convoluted. You really do need to pay attention, which is a positive thing. I do like the fact that you do have to focus on things, especially considering the whole Max Lord evil plot, because it really has a lot of layers to it, and it really harps on the human that is Diana, which I really, really appreciated. But is this a bad movie? Absolutely not. This is definitely a enjoyable sequel to Wonder Woman. I definitely think that there will be another Wonder Woman film in the works. It's also gotten me very excited for the next series of DCEU films in 2021 and 2022, because we are going to be getting some good sequels as well as some brand new films introducing characters like Black Adam, and the big thing that was revealed about that movie is the fact that Hawkman is going to be in that movie some way, somehow as well, so I'm really excited about that. And of course, I'm still excited for the Justice League Snyder Cut film, and I am just very excited for the future of the DCEU, because after the mess that we saw at the beginning, it seems like the DC world in film is definitely getting back on track. And like I said, Wonder Woman 1984, not the best in the bunch, but still one of the more enjoyable films. If you liked the first one, I think you're probably going to have a similar attitude like me. Even though I didn't get to see it on the big screen, I wish I would have, because if I had the ability to, I would have gone to see this movie in theaters on Christmas Day. It is definitely big screen worthy, and that's why I'm saying this for the umpteenth time. When the theaters do open once again, you better believe that I am going to be back seeing these amazing blockbusters with that amazing big screen surround sound experience once again, because watching Wonder Woman 1984 for the first time in my basement on my big screen TV, it really did not do this film justice. But I definitely will be seeing this movie again, and I definitely will be adding this movie to my DVD collection, because I did have a great time with this movie. And I am going to be giving Wonder Woman 1984 a 3 stars out of 4. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave your comments in the box below. Let me know your thoughts on Wonder Woman 1984, and I will see you in the next one, which will be the final episode of Up From the Underground. So I will see you then. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.